Club. My name is Mark Cormier. Glad to see you join us this evening. I'll be practicing with my son and my daughter, Samuel and Josephine. And we'll get going in about 3 or 4 minutes, so grabbing a water bottle, grabbing whatever feels right and good for you this evening. And we're glad to have you with us.
That helped, right? And now I light on because I was like in the shadow. But now I'm not. Now I'm good. No, it's all good. I don't want the halogen light. No, I really don't want the halogen light in my face.
I'll put it off to the side.
No, that made it. I guess.
You look great no matter the lighting.
I don't. That's really bright and annoying.
But you're live right now, Sam, just so you know.
Sorry, can I not talk very much?
You're supposed to play a role.
You're supposed to play a role a little bit.
Do your students not talk?
Obedient son.
Do your students not talk to you?
You son of the yogic tradition.
That's not the frame that you're turning on.
Oh, it's hot.
Just trying to get more space.
Absolutely. All right, let's get going. My name is Mark Cormier. I'm working with my son Samuel and my daughter Josephine. We're practicing yoga with the Bay Club. The Bay Club still has, I think, one more camp session left. Love to see any of you that have your kids watched after, check out the Bay Club. We also have live classes, many of them outdoors here in San Francisco. I'm teaching on 2 rooftops and 1 pool deck, and the live classes are awesome. So we also have this online component, which is also awesome. So glad to have you with us tonight. Let me just read the comments before we start. Make sure my sound's good. All right. Anything you guys want to work on tonight?
Yoga.
Yoga, excellent.
Yeah, maybe some ankle stuff.
Ankle stuff,
Yeah.
excellent. All right. And if you at home have any suggestions or themes you'd like to work on in terms of a pose, a sequence, part of the body, feel free to suggest in the comment section. Next month we're going to Zoom, which would be a little more interactive, but we still have this interactive feature on Facebook Live. Anyway, I'll invite you to come to the top of your mat. From here, finding your feet. From your feet, finding your legs. Relaxing your shoulders. Long through all sides of the neck as your crown of your head reaches up to the sky. A slight tuck of the chin as you bring your hands to your heart. A light press of the thumb against the sternum as we line up each finger. And we can start our practice here just by watching our breath as it flows in and as it flows out. Arriving here on our yoga mats, ready for a late afternoon yoga practice. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation, matched by a long, slow exhalation. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to find a full body breath, bringing the air to the top of the chest, the base of the belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. And as you breathe out, I'll encourage you to add a constriction of the low belly in and up to squeeze a little more air out, also providing structural support for your low back. To this deeper, fuller breath, I'm going to invite you to move towards the Ujjayi or ocean breath, a slight constriction of the base of the throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice tonight, letting this sound and feel of your Ujjayi breath be a focus for your practice. Always coming back to that sound and feel, often compared to the sound and feel of the waves of the ocean as the waves wash in and as the waves wash out. To this deeper, fuller breath, moving or adding Jiva Bandha, tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth, keeping that connection throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and keeping us from grinding our teeth, something many of us, including myself, do when I'm working hard. And we don't want to do that. That doesn't really help. And then finally, adding a slight smile to your face, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, opening the eyes if you close the eyes, hands by our sides. And let's just work with our shoulders a little bit. As we inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhaling, arms down. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms down. One more time, inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms down. Now we're going to add a forward fold, half sun salutation. Inhaling, arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to find length as you lift chin and tail. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, neutral spine, hands out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times to go. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. 1 more to go. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. So Namaskar A with or without vinyasa. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, grounding down through your hands, either finding your down dog and holding, or elbows soft as you find chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog or cobra. And then exhaling back to down dog and holding for 4 or 5 long, slow breaths. As we hold our down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to your hands, lots of space between each finger, and finding a little more press between the thumb and the forefinger as you draw the energy up from the floor. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you mindfully make your way front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Second one just like the first. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Always finding that balance between your effort and your ease. As we hold this down dog, I'm going to invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your Ujjayi breath flows in and as your Ujjayi breath flows out. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar A. We'll add on if you choose. Inhaling into hands over head pose, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Those of you in down dog, feeling free to hold that shape Those of you who want to generate more tapas or heat, I'll invite you to inhale forward to the top of a push-up, and then on the exhale, stretching it back to down dog. Couple more times, inhaling forward, exhaling, drawing it back. This last one will invite you to hold, inhaling forward, exhaling and holding, inhaling and holding, exhaling. One more half breath, breath in. And on that next exhale, lifting hips high and holding for another breath or so. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutation B. It starts with a chair. Knees over toes, hands over head. The powerful pose, Utkatasana. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, I'll invite you to find a little half back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog as you will. And again, find your flow, follow your breath. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky. High on the left toes. Looking between the hands, sweeping that right foot on through. Finding your warrior one, hands can always find the hips. And then up and over the head. And then on the exhale, spinning the palms out, finding low lunge as we spin back, heel up. And then back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. From down dog, second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Looking between the hands, sweeping that left foot on through, landing it lightly, finding your balance, arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. You can take your time. Really try to press the entirety of your hand down, Sam. The harder we work our hands, the less our wrists have to work. And that's one issue that comes up in a flow practice with a lot of push-ups and down dogs is people's wrists need some attention. So you definitely want to work those hands super, super hard. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding. On the inhale, stay low. We'll come back to the chair. Adding that extra breath, taking it lower, exhaling. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar B. We'll add a hip opening sequence into the mix. It starts with a chair. Inhaling. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length, and then breathing out, back to down dog, as you will. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that right hip. And then sweeping that right foot on through, finding your warrior one, arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. From down dog, second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that left hip. And then looking between the hands as we sweep that left foot on through, finding our Vira 1, our Hero 1 pose. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Again, take your time, find your flow. Other option might be a child's pose. Again, always finding that balance between your effort and your ease. Whether you're in down dog or child's pose, two great places to breathe into our back lungs, finding a little more space, a little more freedom in our spines. They say, I believe 60% of most people, the respiration's in the back. We always think of it as being in the front because that's what we see. Wherever you are, always feeling free to stay there. If it's child's pose, no worries, hang out. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step, or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling full. On the inhale, finding your chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum, lining up each finger. Either keeping that light press of the palms as your weight collects in your feet, or adding an isometric engagement as we press the palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged. I'll invite you to tuck the tail and chin as we connect with the strength of our center. And then hands by our side. From here, let's step or jump our feet outer hip width apart. And as if our hands are floating in the water, hands by our hips. And let's jump on our toes 8 times for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold those heels high. I'll invite you to bring arms overhead, the palms face in. Keeping heels high, the palms face out. Palms face in. Palms face out. One more here, palms face in. Palms face out. And then lower the heels. Hands by our side. From here, let's soften the knees and lean a little bit forward as we bring our hands under our shoulders. And we'll work asymmetrical shoulder rolls here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And back to center. Let's bring hands on hips. We'll shift weight onto our right foot. The left foot gets light. And let's find a standing half lotus here as we bring our ankle on top of our thigh. As if we're sitting in an invisible chair, we start to sit down. Hands either stay on the hips or hands find the heart. We either keep hands on heart or stretch those hands high. As we hold the half lotus, any amount, we can jump on our toes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold that heel high. And then lower the heels. High hands become heart hands. Heart hands become hip hands. We straighten that right leg. We lift left thigh high. The toe points down. We lean a little bit forward without dropping the thigh long to the leg with a soft point to the toe. From here, let's flex the foot and land a cross step. So left leg in front of right. From here, let's soften our stance. Front of the back knee pushes into the back of the front knee. We lower our center of balance, and we're not leaning forward really. We're just dropping it down. From here, arms out to the side, inhaling. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Just like in the sun cells, take a breath to find length as you look up. And then folding and holding. If your hands can make the ground, awesome. Otherwise, finding the shins. And then any amount, just circling your hips. Inviting more prana, more life force into those hips. And then taking those circles the other way. From here, let's come back center, tucking the chin. This is harder than it seems. As we roll ourselves on up, keeping the legs crossed. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands find the hips as we uncross the legs and give your body a shake. From here, let's step our left foot back, lining up the heels as we find our warrior 1 prep, finding a length of stance that's appropriate for your body this afternoon. From here, we can bring hands onto our shoulders to square our heart front. Also remind those shoulders to stay relaxed. From here, finding a clasp with the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, and then stretching those hands high to the sky. From here, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, breathing in as we gather up the energy. On the exhale, finding this letter W shape. And let's do that a few times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Halfway done, breathing in and breathing out. Last two. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out, and holding. I'll invite you to bring the elbows back, the hands come with. I'll invite you to give those fingers a wiggle. And then turning warrior one into warrior two as hands find the heart. We open up the hips. We kick the back foot in just a tad for heel to arch alignment. And then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, let's paint rainbows, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling and exhaling. Halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Last two. Breathing in, breathing out. Warrior two. Now we're going to transition to the triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. We deepen that crease. We lengthen those ribs. I'm a little teacup, short and stout. Without locking that knee, front leg basically straight. We ground bottom hand down on shin. We can set that top shoulder. We can stretch hand high, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky. As we hold the triangle with every breath in, finding your center of balance, 3 fingers below the navel. Every time you breathe out, sending energy out through 2 arms, 2 legs, both ends of the spine. As you make yourselves bigger in space from the inside out. From here, let's explore that lateral top line. As we exhale that top hand front, turning our heart to the floor, a little quarter twist to the torso. Inhaling, lifting hand high as we spin heart to sky. And let's do that a few times. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Halfway done here. Exhaling and inhaling. Last 2. Exhaling, inhaling. Last one, we'll hold. Exhale and hold. We push into the back foot, long through the leg, the torso, the arm, the fingers. Reach, reach, reach. Now the bottom hand joins. We take that twist out of the torso, pure side motion. We breathe 2 hands up and exhale it over. 2 hands up, exhale it over. Inhale it up, exhale it over. Halfway down, breathing it up. Exhale it over, up, and over, up, and over, and hold. As we reach, 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 I'll invite you to wiggle those fingers, keeping our hands supple. And then moving towards the half moon. Hand finds the hip. We step the back foot in. Right hand off to the right. I'll suggest a nice wide base. From that foundation, we can lift the back leg. We can set that top shoulder. We can stretch that hand high to the sky, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky, with that mixture of effort and ease. Beautiful. Again, as we hold the shape with every breath in, finding your center of balance, 3 fingers below the navel. With every breath out, getting bigger in space as you send that energy out in every direction. From our half moon, coming down with grace and control. Hand finds the hip. We bend the standing leg, back foot low. 2 feet find the floor as we come back to our warrior 2. And then I'll suggest a big windmill of the arms as we find low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. And again, find your flow. There's no rush at all. Let me just check the comments here. Welcome, everyone.
Read them out loud in a fun accent.
Pardon?
I said read them out loud in a fun accent.
From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, let's fold and hold. I'm going to invite you to toe heel your feet out for a nice wide stance, catching opposite elbows, and just gently swaying yourself from side to side. Now switching across to the elbows, keep swaying side to side. Now we're going to come center here. Let's support our low back as we bring hands under our thighs. This time in the roll up, we'll keep the chin tucked and push into the thighs as we masterfully stack our vertebrae. From here, either keeping the feet just as they are, or we can jump them in thin like a pin. As we bring our hands to our heart, either keeping that light press of your palms as your weight gathers in your feet, or adding that isometric engagement as we connect with the strength of our center. And then hands by our side. If you jumped it in thin like a pin, we can jump it out. Outer shoulder width apart. I'll invite you again to float your hands as if you're floating on water. And this time, though, let's turn our feet out. So it's almost like a second position here. As we jump on our toes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold those heels high, arms overhead, palms in. Palms out. Palms in. Palms out. Palms in. Palms out. And then lower the heels. Hands by our side. From the turnout toes, we'll bring our toes back in. Hands on the hips, we'll shift weight onto left foot. As we get ready for our standing half lotus, second side. We bend the left knee, we bring right ankle on top of the thigh. As if we're sitting in an invisible chair, we start to sit down. Either keeping hands on hips or hands find the heart. Either keeping hands at the heart or we stretch those hands high. And again, just for fun here, we can jump on our toes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold that heel up any amount. If you have to tap down, no big deal. And then lowering the heel. High hands become hard hands. Hard hands become hip hands. We straighten the standing leg. We lift this right thigh high. Leaning a little bit forward with a soft point to the toe as we go long through that leg. Lifting that leg a little higher. And then flexing the foot, we'll land a cross step. Lowering our center of balance here. Front of the back knee pushes into back of the front knee. And again, pretty much neutral spine as we drop ourselves down. From here, arms up and over the head, inhaling. On the exhale, leading with the heart as we fold. Take a breath to find length as you look up. And then folding and holding if you can make the ground awesome. Otherwise, finding the shin. And just circling your hips any amount. If you have the ground, you'll be able to work a bigger circle here. Inviting more prana, more life force into our hips. Feels so good. And then take it the other way. Now we're going to work that unassisted roll up here. So the chin is tucked. Lots in core engagement to support the low back as we roll ourselves on up. Nice. Lifting the chin tall to the crown as we lose the cross of our legs. And again, I'll invite you to give it a shake. Keep yourselves loose. From here, if hands find the hips, we're going to work towards Warrior One prep on our second side. As we step our right foot back, lining up the heels. Again, finding a length of stance that works for you. Front leg is bent. We can bring hands onto our shoulders, squaring the heart and relaxing those shoulders. Now maybe switching the cross of the fingers, pressing the head into the hands, open heart and throat, fourth and fifth chakra, and then stretching those hands high to the sky. And then with the breath, gathering up the energy. On the exhale, offering it out. Now this letter W shape's a great place to come to throughout your day, not just on your yoga mat. We'll do 6 of these. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, breathing in. Breathing out and holding. I want you to bring the elbows back, the hands come with, and wiggling those fingers. And then turning warrior 1 into warrior 2 as hands find the heart. We open up the hips. We might narrow the stance just a tad. And then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, painting rainbows, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. 3 more to go. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. Breathing out. Warrior 2. Now transitioning to Trikonasana, the triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. We deepen that crease. We lengthen those ribs. I'm a little teacup, short and stout. Rounding bottom hand down, we can set that top shoulder. We can stretch that hand high, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky. As we hold Trikonasana, the triangle, 3 or 4 breaths, finding your center of balance as you breathe in. Diaphragm stretches down towards the navel. As you breathe out, as the diaphragm domes up towards the heart, sending energy out into the universe as we connect to everything that's not us. Now exploring that lateral top line as we exhale that top hand front, little quarter twist of the torso. Inhaling, lifting hand high. And let's do a few of these. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. 2 more to go. Exhale. Inhale, last one. Exhale and hold as we reach, finding that lateral top line, getting longer in space. And then bottom hand joins, pure side motion. Push us for a side waist. We breathe 2 hands up and exhale it over. 2 hands up, exhale it over. 2 hands up, exhale it over. 3 more, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one, breathing in. Breathing out and holding as we reach, wiggling those fingers. And then moving towards the half moon. Again, take your time. You could always add a second hand to the equation as you set your base. Once you have the base, lifting back leg any amount, that second hand could find the hip. Maybe we set the shoulder and stretch hand high, either looking down off to the side or up to the sky, with that mixture of effort and ease. And again, breathing into your center of balance, and from that center, getting bigger in space. From here, coming down with grace and control, as top hand finds the hip, back foot low, 2 feet find the floor, as we find our warrior 2. And then I'll suggest a big windmill of the arms as we find low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Again, take your time. Find your floor. Deep, full breaths. And again, Sam, I would suggest really try to get, you might think of your center of your palm as a suction cup. And you're sucking the energy up from the floor into those shoulders. Either letting your neck relax and your head be super heavy, or lengthening through all sides of the neck as you look back towards your navel. And wherever you're working, coming back to an even breath. Awesome. Thank you, Ethan. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step, or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding and holding. Now holding the forward fold as we toe heel our feet wide, catching opposite elbows and gently swaying it from side to side. Getting into those hips, releasing your back, hamstrings. Now switching across of the elbows. Feels so good. And let's work that assisted roll up again as we bring hands under our thighs, the chin is tucked. As we slowly roll ourselves up, lifting the chin tall to the crown. Feel free to do this with me. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over heels. From here, I'm going to suggest we find a letter T with our feet. I'm trying to demo that, so Can't really see our feet. We were supposed to be in another studio, but you got the heel of one foot against the instep of the
Like
other.
this. They
Can you see it? Can you see you? Yeah.
I am not Kathy.
Kathy's my wife, Josephine's my daughter.
Big difference.
I also sometimes call him Josephine, which is, oh.
I'm the most important.
Anyway, from this T shape, as if our hands are floating on water, we're going to jump for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold those heels high, arms overhead, palms in, palms out, palms in, palms out, palms in, palms out, and lower the heels, hands by our side. Now let's find the other T, so other heel and other instep, and we'll jump for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold those heels up, arms overhead, palms in, palms out, palms in, palms out, palms in, palms out, and lower the heels, hands by our side, and I'll invite you just to give it a shake. So my next balancing pose is actually easier, I believe, than standing half lotus, or more of a classic yoga pose, as we move towards our tree pose. So if you can't see my foot, you can see Josephine's. But anyway, hands on hips, we're going to shift weight onto our right foot. And I'll invite you to turn the right toes out just a little bit. Most people's hips work a little bit better with a little bit of a turnout. From here, we can find either a kickstand tree. We rest the heel on the ankle knob, toes are on the ground. You might find a calf tree, or you might reach down to find a thigh tree. In our thigh tree, we can bring hands back to the hips. We can bring hands to the heart. We can stretch those hands high. And then just like we did in our standing half lotus, I'll invite you to jump on your toes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold that heel high. If you come down, no big deal. And then lowering the heels. And let's make high hands, heart hands. Heart hands become hip hands. From here, let's swing that thigh front. Knee is bent, the toe faces down. Let's lean a little bit forward. And rather than holding the neck shape, let's add a little movement, a little breath as we kick for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then let's sweep that foot through. We're going to pitch our body forward. We're going to find our warrior 3. So different than the half moon in that our hips face down as opposed to the side. Either keeping hands on hips or we stretch hands back. We stretch hands out. We stretch hands front and maybe lifting the face to look through those hands as if you're looking through a large glass ball. And again, one more time, we can jump for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold those heels up. Whoa. And then we're going to land that back foot lightly as we find our warrior 1 prep. Woo! Good thing we have the fan on. Longer in the stance. Squaring the shoulders. Clasp with the fingers behind the head, open heart, open throat. And now finding a tray in front. And I'm going to say, straighten that front leg a little bit. We want to keep the knee tracking evenly on both sides. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. We've got 3 more to go. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out, and holding. Elbows move back, the hands come with, wiggling our fingers. And now right hand catches right hip. We find length on the left side, palm faces back as we reach up. And then reaching out. Reaching up and reaching out. Reaching up and reaching out. 3 more to go. Up and out. Up and out. Last one. Reaching up and reaching out. Now, I'm about you to keep that back heel grounded for more stability. You won't have as much twist, but we can start the twist with the wrist. We can slide to the elbow And we can find our prayer hands either looking down off to the side or up past that top elbow with that mixture of effort and ease. Nice. You guys are twisted. You guys going the same way?
Sam's doing it wrong.
I might be on the wrong side.
No,
If you're on the other side, good example
No,
here. There's
Sam
noth-
just didn't put his arm on the right.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to be twisted.
I was wondering why it was so easy. I was like, this is a lot easier than normal.
Okay. Yeah, so your belly moves in towards that front leg. From here, let's come out easily as we frame front foot with both hands. Let's take a big step back as we find our lunge. And from lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Deep, full breaths. Little nuance in the down dog. I'll invite you to bend your knees ever so slightly as you lift your tailbone just up a little bit higher. And then you want to keep your tailbone right where it is as you straighten the legs. Now from here, if you choose to jump forward, you want to use that same technique. So you want to bend the knees a little bit. You want to lift the tailbone high. And you want to try to keep the tailbone right where it is as you jump yourself forward. Awesome. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding. This time, let's return to our chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. Again, let's bring hands to heart, either keeping that light press of the palms or adding that isometric engagement. And then hands by our side. From here, let's jump our feet wide. We're going to shift weight onto the left foot as we move through that tree sequence. So hands find the hips. And again, I'll invite you to angle the left toes out just a tad. And that gives most people's hips a little more room to breathe. And that's a metaphor. We shift weight onto that left foot. Yeah, there's no lungs that go down there. But there's a sense of space. If the toes are facing perfectly front, it feels a little constricted, at least for me. Other people, maybe not so much. So I like to angle the toes out just a tad. I either find my kickstand, I might find my calf, I might reach down and catch that foot and bringing it above the knee. As I anchor the heel on the thigh, the toes face down. Hands on hips, hands find the heart. We stretch those hands high, and again, any amount here as we jump for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold that heel up, and then lower the heels. High hands become hard hands. Hard hands become hip hands. We swing that right thigh front, and we'll kick it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. Did we jump on this one, or did we go right back to Warrior 3?
We jumped.
We jumped for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I think we did.
7, and 8. I was really tired the first time, so I think we did. Now we're going to sweep it on through as we find our Warrior 3 pose. Hands either stay on the hips or we stretch hands back. We can stretch hands out. We can stretch hands front. And again, jumping for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. And then grounding that back foot as we bring hands under our hips for Warrior 1 prep. One more time tonight. Squaring the shoulders. You might go a little bit more bend in that front knee, Sam. Yeah, so go longer if you can. Last time tonight, opening up 4th and 5th chakra, community and communication. Finding that tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance. On the exhale, offer it out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Halfway done, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Last one, breathing in, breathing out and holding. And one more time, feel the stretch. Elbows move back, hands come with, wiggling those fingers. And now left hand catches left hip. We find length on the right side, reaching up and then reaching out. Reaching up and reaching out. Reaching up and reaching out. Halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. Breathing out and reach, reach, reach. Now we're going to find revolve the extended side angle. Back heel stays down. We can start the twist with the wrist, and we're turning towards that bent front leg. So we're going to find a little compression in the belly. If you're a pregnant person, certainly feeling free to twist it the other way. And
Like Sam did.
and either finding our pair of hands, either looking down off to the side or up past that top elbow with a steady yet relaxed gaze. We're twisted, we're balancing despite all this, still keeping your cool, an easeful quality to your shape, to your mind state. And that's really what a lot of this yoga is. We challenge ourselves in all these shapes. The idea is we stay calm, cool, and collected in our center. From our twist, coming out easily as we frame front foot with both hands. Big step back as we find our lunge. And one more time this evening, or this late afternoon. Back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. And again, take your time. Letting your breath be your metronome. From the down dog shape, I'll suggest that everyone finds a child's pose as we send our sits bones back to our heels. I'm going to adjust the camera here a little bit just so we get a little more floor perspective. In our child's pose, I'll invite you to find that belly to inner thigh connection. As you breathe in, letting your belly massage your inner thighs, letting your thighs return the favor. Just really puddling, pooling, connecting with your water element as we lay here on the floor. Now keeping hips and heels just as they are, I'll invite you to walk your hands to one side as we stretch far hip to far heel. Now walking your hands through center and finding that second side, stretching other hip to other heel. From here, let's walk our hands center and walk our hands in and finding your less familiar side. Usually we tend to bring our feet off to one side always the same way, trying to bring it off the other way as we examine our patterns of movement. From here, let's find a big, wide diamond shape with the legs. So the heels are a little bit apart. External rotation on the hips. This is called Charasana, named after a green-skinned goddess of compassion. From Charasana, let's move towards Kurmasana, the tortoise, as we feed our arms underneath our shins, the palms face down. From here, hinging at the hips, depending on where your back is, you're either going to keep neutral spine or letting the spine round. There's a mantra that goes with Kurmasana. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. And then holding for 2 or 3 long, slow breaths. With every exhale breath, letting your inner groin soften into the floor. With every inhale breath, finding a little more space in back heart. From here, I'll suggest a tuck of the chin as we bring it on up. Moving towards one of my favorite poses, the flying wedge or the flying V shape. So either catching your ankles, or you might have peace sign fingers catching big toes. We can lift those feet up as we start to balance on our tailbone. Either keeping bent legs any amount, or we go long with those legs. As we hold the shape, I'll invite you to widen those thighs. All roads lead to Rome here, that center of balance, 3 fingers below the navel. In our flying wedge or flying V shape, I'll invite you to find a butterfly in the air as we connect the soles of the feet. We can land that butterfly as we sit tall. Hands can either catch the ankles, feet stay pressed together, or we use our thumbs to open up our insoles like a book. If you've chosen that option, notice how that releases the hips. Take a breath to sit tall, hinging at the hips, either keeping neutral spine or rounding the spine. And again, we have that same mantra, works great for this shape too. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. Now a tuck of the chin as we bring it on up. We can use our hands to close our knees, keeping our inner thighs soft. Let's go long through the legs, and I'll suggest make sure you got some room behind you so we can do a full body stretch when we get down. We can start from neutral spine, back of the head, in line with the sacrum.
Blood on the carpet.
From here, there's blood?
No. Said Joe's not allowed on the carpet.
Oh, okay. From here we find C-spine. We slowly roll ourselves down, vertebrae by vertebrae, as if we're laying pearls onto a cushion.
Oh my abs.
From here, full body stretch, arms by the ears, not too low. We want to keep the ribs soft and drawing in. Breathing in as we point fingers and toes. Breathing out as we flex hands and feet. 2 more times. Breathing in as we point. Exhale as we flex. 1 more. Breathing in as we point. Exhale as we flex. And then sweeping your hands by your sides. Widening your thighs, scooting the head back as you flatten your shoulders. Finding our final relaxation shape. Tip of the tongue now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through your nose. Doing whatever else feels right and good for you tonight. And we won't be here too long at home, feeling free to hold this shape as long as you'd like. Those of you at home, feeling free to hold your final relaxation shape, you're floating on a cloud pose. For the purposes of this live class and the purpose of these students here in the room here, I'm going to cue them out of it. And again, at home, feel free to stay right where you are. I'll invite you to move your minds before you move your bodies. Bring your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath with a long, slow inhalation, matched by a long, slow exhalation, and letting that exhalation be a little bit longer, a little bit slower than the inhalation, as we vary that ratio in pursuit of a more relaxing, a more languorous breath. To this more relaxing, this more languorous breath, I'll invite you to wiggle your fingers and toes as we invite more prana, more life force into our bodies. Now circling wrists and ankles as we draw that prana in towards center. A little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips. Intuitive movement as you lay on the floor, as you connect with your feeling body. And now moving towards Apanasana as we draw one knee at a time in towards our heart. Our hands catch our shins. And using your thighs to massage your center of balance as you gently lift and lower your low back and hips. Keeping your knees close in, I'll invite you to gently rock it from side to side. And then rolling onto your right side, stretching long through the right arm. Letting that right arm serve as a cushion for your head. As we share a long, slow breath here on the floor, I invite you to let that breath sigh out through your mouth, softening your shoulders, relaxing your jaw, softening the corners of your eyes. And then neck relaxed, face soft as we press up to claim a cross-legged sit. As we sit, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees as we sit up a little straighter, a little taller. A slight tuck of the chin. Eyes either closed or eyes soft. I'm going to ring these yoga bells one time. I invite you to hear the striking of the tone, the duration of the sound, its diminution, and then the ambient sound thereafter. From this place, I'll invite you to bring 5 fingers of one hand onto the floor. The palm of the other hand faces the sky. A slight tuck of the chin. Ending our practice as we started, just watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga. And as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world, the light within me honors and respects the light within you. Namaste. Thank you at home for practicing with us. Thank Josephine. Thank Samuel. We'll see you all next time. Any comments, feel free to comment. Pardon?
I said Samuel, so official.
Samuel. Yes, Samuel Theo Cormier and Josephine Lee Cormier.
Total identity theft is a real problem.
And we'll see you all next time.